listening to your man. So is it toxically feminine if you're not listening?
No, he doesn't care. He just cook the food. So you don't always have to act on your emotions, you know?
Women don't even want stability. And when it comes to safety, if he's not abusing you, you're safe just because you feel like safe. Why do we watch the Kardashians and not the NBA?
I mean,
women like drama. Women like drama.
But in a relationship sense, is women are very quick to criticize, but not quick enough to praise. I was a coward in my last relationship. I will own that 100%.
I'm talking about friends, like actual friends.
Yeah, like guy friends. They don't want to sleep with you.
You don't think they will sleep with you if you give them a window?
What is toxic masculinity?
Oh, that was good. We were starting in high.
I feel like it stems from a man who does not know himself and he does not know how to regulate his emotions, because men are very logical. By the end of the day, they still have emotions and they do not know how to regulate that, but they know.
What do you mean they don't know how to regulate it?
Okay, so a man knows innately, in my opinion, that he is meant to protect and provide and that he is meant to be the head in some kind of way. I feel like that's an innate thing that a man knows. However, when you are told that that is the only thing that you must be, and then you're kind of other emotions, the emotions that make you human, are kind of shunned. You do not.
What
know
do you mean by emotions that make you human?
Because anything like
what emotion?
Like to be overtly happy, or when you said the word simp, like to feel like an emotion that is like, oh, I want to feel soft for this person, and all these kind of things. Being soft, like everything is yin and yang, and men and women, they both have masculine and feminine energy.
Oh my goodness, that's the feminist talking point, folks. The man and the female, they both have male and female, so it's all relativity kind of thing. Man, these talking points are going to be hard to dismantle.
Need to embrace both of those, but not obviously too much masculinity in the female and too much femininity in the man.
Don't you think you're asking men to emote like women?
No,
Crazy, yeah,
I'm not
that's
saying
what
that
it
at
is.
all. What I'm saying is that you have to understand that as a man, you're going to have a little bit of feminine energy, even if it's 1%, 20%, 30%. I don't know.
Do you want men with a lot of feminine energy?
And I said 1%, 20%. I'm giving variables,
Right.
and to be honest, I don't mind as long as you are able to.
That's not true. Of course you mind. Of course you do. Of course you do. I mean, it's just incredible how these females think that they really want a feminine man. It's crazy, man.
To fulfill your role
The
as
lies.
a man, which is to provide and protect and to lead.
How can
If
you
have
how can you do all these traits, those traits, but be feminine?
feminine energy, if you're gonna sit there and I want to do some dumb feminine shit with you, and you're gonna sit there and allow me to do it, we can do that behind closed doors. If I want to do your nails and do your hair and do your makeup, we can do that behind closed doors, and that is
Makeup?
Yes, I'm sorry, we can do that behind closed. Some men will not allow that.
No, mine wouldn't. No,
yeah, but this is the thing. If you and I feel like
Crazy.
that shows how set in your
I'm just,
masculinity.
what is toxic masculinity?
Okay, yeah,
I'm
let's
just not
go
getting. Can I have a
Okay.
specific example?
Okay, so for example, a man feels angry because a woman is undermining his authority, but he's not putting out that authority in the correct way. So then he unleashes
that's
the
what it
anger
is.
out on her and starts blaming her and all these kind of things, being like, "Oh, you don't listen." Okay, let me give a specific example. I believe that a man should make sure that his woman looks presentable. I do not want to go out. People can have their own opinions, but I don't want to go out looking too promiscuous. So if my man says, you know what, I'd prefer you to not wear that, and then the woman goes and says, you know what, actually I want to wear this. For example, I might wear a top that shows a little bit of my boobs, and then my man's like, I don't want you to wear that, and I'm like, actually, you know what, can I pull it up a little bit, and then it's okay. And then if he's toxic, he'll start getting angry, like, oh, you're undermining me, so on and so forth, and it will turn into a big argument that it does not have to be. However, if he knows how to go about it in the correct way, then we might have a little conversation about it, and either we come to some sort of compromise, or he knows how to deal with my emotions as a man.
Do you think that men want to have conversations about problems, or women want to have conversations about problems?
Good point.
At the end of the day, men and
There we
women
go.
are two
See,
very different creatures.
yeah, okay.
They're-
This is where a lot of these talkers and podcasts they're not recognizing what you just did. She's literally deviated or avoided answering the question because she knew the answer. Let's hear it one more time.
Conversation about it, and either we come to some sort of compromise, or he knows how to deal with my emotions as a man.
Do you think that men want to have conversations about problems, or women want to have conversations about problems?
At the end of the day, men and
There you go. Answer my question. You have to go back to that. Answer my question. That's a sales technique. Answer my question. You have to control the conversation because then it's just derail, and then all of a sudden they're just moving the goalposts everywhere. answer my question. Kevin Simon was very good on doing
Women
that.
are two very different creatures. There
Very
are
good.
Can you
similarities.
answer the question?
Yeah,
There we go.
Men
Yep.
or women?
Women.
Both for different topics. Mostly it's women because we have a lot more emotional issues.
So
But
then
men
don't
want to
you
have
think
conversations.
you're asking him to emote like a woman? Like, because often when I hear this is just what I've noticed is when women say the word toxic masculinity, they're asking men to be women.
No,
when they're
not always.
It's the
There's-
fact that
there's-
in a relationship you have to be
Trigger.
able to compromise.
Empathy
I have to be
is
able to
important.
understand you from your point of view of things. You have to be able to understand me too. If I need you to come down on a level where I'm able to actually tell you how I feel and I want you to actually kind of understand what I'm trying to tell you without fighting back, that's what I think should
Well,
come.
So
I mean-
being emasculated, basically.
Part of femininity is listening to your man. So is it toxically feminine if you're not listening?
No, I
Yes.
think
Yes,
is,
I think it
actually,
is because at the same time, like I just said, you need to be able to compromise. I need to be able to come to your level. You need to be able to come to mine, and that's how
Oi.
the relationship should work. You should be able to. If I want to sit
Don't
down
do that,
and
folks.
tell you I don't like
Fellas,
this,
don't do
you should
that.
be able to hear it. If you want to
That's a bad
come and
advice.
sit down and tell me you don't like this, I should be able to hear it. End of.
I think that men are okay with us coming to talk about problems, but it's the way we approach it. A lot of the
No,
time,
we're not okay. We're not okay. We're not okay. But this is not normal, folks. Females going to the workforce and coming back from the workforce just to talk about their experience with Susan being a bad person. It's not normal, folks. We're already coming from a lot of chaos. Now your female want to bring more chaos. It's not normal, folks.
we approach it by criticizing, blaming, shaming, trying to control them. I think if we're able to remove all of that and we're able to have conversations as a kind of coming in at a different angle, in a respectful way, men are very happy to be having these conversations in order to, you know, ensure that the relationship is on track.
I'm just curious. I'm just going to do a poll quick with the guys. Do you guys want to have a conversation with your woman about what she wears every time you go out?
No.
No, okay.
Not situations
So that's
like
good
that,
then.
because I think that you should know yourself what's appropriate and what's
Yeah,
not
but
appropriate.
They
that's-
did not
that's
like
fine
that
then, but-
answer. You see how they start bickering a lot? That's because they didn't like the answer.
Thing is, it's just a conversation at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's not anything more than that.
Which is fine, but it's just going back to the toxic masculinity. It's like you're asking men to be women.
How?
When it happens every time.
How?
When you're asking men to emote like women, so to have a conversation, like it's toxically masculine if you don't want to have a
But-
conversation
think-
about
But
something.
the thing is, they can have a conversation without crying, without doing this. Just listen. Just listen to what I have to say. I'm not asking you to be a woman.
Wow.
I'm not asking you to have a period every month.
no,
I'm
but
not.
I'm saying when you say it's toxically masculine for you not to want to have a conversation with
It's
me.
like when they say something and they want to say that's the end of conversation. You get it? Like this guy can come to you and say, I don't know, for example, like going back to the clothes thing, I don't like what you're wearing. I can try to tell you like, oh, but but no, that's it. He's not even trying to hear your side of the
Yeah,
story.
because it never ends. The reason we shut down the conversation because we know it's gonna be there for the next 4 or 5 hours. So you have to end it up. You have to end it right there and there. See, this is a way of feminists trying to gain control, but at the same time not wanting the control.
And that's
It's
toxic
weird to
masculine.
explain, folks.
I think so because it's like you're toxically, if that's a word, like establishing your dominance in a way where you're not even trying to.
Because
let me
you're
talk, trying
dominant,
to do
you're-
this,
you're a
like,
man.
just be quiet. I'm your man, kind of thing. I think that's what toxic masculinity
I think
is.
that's just masculinity. I think like women just don't like
No.
being told no.
Nah, because I feel like you can be masculine, like she said before, and come in a correct way. Like you can tell me
You
"Babe,
can be masculine,
like, I'm
but
not gonna
wear
lie
makeup.
to you.
Yeah,
I don't like
sure.
the way you're wearing this. Da, 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 da. I feel like this. Like at least hear me out from my
Right, but
side.
that's how women would communicate.
That's
I
what
think that's how two adults should communicate.
Exactly.
No, but that's
That's
because you're
crazy.
trying to make men communicate like women. Like, have you ever been in a men's locker room and listened to how they talk to each other? And you're like, ooh, oh, I can't believe they're like. I used to work at a plumbing tech company, and they would just roast the shit out of each other, and I could not believe they talk to each other like that. But saying, oh, like that's communicating.
But they need to remember we
What
are
happened there?
women,
That's weird.
and our feelings do get hurt very quick.
Oh.
So just be aware. So you wouldn't talk to, not referring to women as children, this is just an example. You would talk to a child a certain way because you know it's a kid. You would talk to like a bunch of boys a certain way because you know you're in a group of a bunch of boys. Just be aware of who you're talking to.
No,
That's it.
And I agree with you. I think men.
Yeah.
I think men know that. They know they can't communicate to us the same way they communicate to other men. I'm saying it's not
Yeah.
toxically masculine if a guy just says no, end of conversation.
I think it is because like it's
Wow,
I think
bro.
just give your reason.
Listen, folks.
Just give your reason.
Masculinity is in danger. Just hear what they have to say.
Reason, because that's just what we
Crazy,
want.
man.
Give your reason, babe. Why you don't want me to. Him, okay, this and this. Okay, yeah, I understand you. I'll take it off.
Do you think most women, that's their answer when he says, when you give them a reason, he gives you a reason that they're like, oh, okay.
No, not every
Obviously,
woman.
no, it will
course
go
they
into
don't.
a conversation. I feel like the clothing example has messed things up. Let me give you another one.
Okay.
So, say for example, I live with my boyfriend, whatever. Like, I'm the one who will be cooking that night. Say for example, I say, babe, I'm thinking about making ABCD for dinner, and he goes, no, like, you're not doing that. I feel like, why is it that you have the right to tell us what we're eating? I'm the one that's doing the cooking.
You don't have to listen to him.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to him. You can just walk away. See, but both of us cannot have a penis in a relationship. See, it's like you want it to be super masculine, but act like women. It's like, it's a weird conundrum.
Sorry, but I've been itching. I just didn't want to interrupt anybody. It's because he doesn't want to know the ins and outs, in my opinion. He doesn't want to know the ins and outs and what you've decided. Just cook the food. Men don't want to have a conversation. I think men operate from a place of like solution. If there's a problem, what is the solution?
Yeah.
How do we fix this? It's very black and white. It's women that want to have the conversation. So instead of I'm cooking tonight, oh babe, this is what I'm going to cook. He doesn't care. He just cook the food.
So what if I've
Just cook
already?
it.
So what if
you
I've
can
defrosted,
decide, babe?
What if I've defrosted my chicken? This guy tells me he wants fish, and my chicken's there for him.
No, but I
then-
can't see him doing that
No.
though. I
So
think he'd be
when-
grateful
so
for
say-
everything.
But that's why it's toxic masculinity, because not everybody does it. But
I
that
don't think
would be
that's
a
toxic.
No, that's not
toxic
toxic.
trait.
I think that's controlling and narcissistic.
Wait,
That's not toxic
what's
masculinity.
controlling and narcissistic? Could you re-explain? I just didn't understand what you were saying.
No, what I was basically trying to say is like, what I was saying is that's the toxic side of the whole toxic masculinity thing. Is when he wants to like apply himself in a way where he's not trying to hear anything else. That's basically
Or
what
just trying to be
Anything.
cruel. I mean, it just sounds cruel. Like someone, you say you're going to make
It's not me.
something.
This is an example.
No. I'm saying if he says that
I don't
sounds cruel.
understand the
Yeah.
situation.
Oh, you mean he's
could-
undermining you?
How is
Yeah, that's what I kind of mean. Like that's what I take from toxic
So
masculinity.
you
Somebody trying to
offer
undermine
something
you.
and he tells you no, like you send the food away because I've heard situations like that, right, where
What if it
someone's
was
prepared
bad?
dinner,
What if it was bad?
put it in the bin and just don't want to eat it.
What if it was
Like-
bad?
That's
So
crazy.
say if
I
there
just think
were-
that's like toxically masculine, narcissistic. That's a bit far.
I think the
Yeah.
word
100%.
narcissistic gets thrown around way too quick and easy. Personally, I do think that people don't. They're not. Most of us are not psychologists, and we can't just label someone a narcissist because of a behaviour which
Good
we
point.
think they're not considering our feelings. Personally, I use that word
That's
very
dangerous.
seldom.
I feel like when I touched on toxic masculinity, it got a bit misconstrued because I didn't say not having a conversation was toxic. I mean like exerting your dominance because a woman is should be subservient in a lot of different ways, and I feel like asserting your dominance in a way that makes her feel unheard or just like. Not scared. Scared is too much of a word, but do you understand what I'm saying? Like she can't be heard. In
So
these
if
kind
he's
of
so
things.
dominant that she doesn't feel heard, that's toxically masculine.
A man's role, as well as to provide and protect, is to make a woman feel safe to do her womanly duties and da. If she don't feel safe, that is being toxically
Don't
masculine.
you think
in a
women
way.
change how they feel every day? Like one way.
Diggity.
I mean, we all have a friend. One day, she's with her
Diggity.
boyfriend. The next day, she hates him.
But what's
the
her
next day,
boyfriend
she's
doing
in
to
love
make
with
that?
him.
We
What's
also-
she doing to contribute to the situation?
But we have a lot of things going on inside. Like
Oh man,
we
they
have-
cannot do no wrong,
period.
fellas. They cannot do no wrong, man. They cannot do no wrong. This is the problem. This is where I came to have a red pill moment years ago. Accountability is very important to move societies, folks. If we have generations of people not acknowledging 1 cent or 1 drop of accountability, it's dangerous, folks. It's very
every
dangerous.
month that does a lot.
But you know what? I think you don't always have to act on your emotions. You know, you could just have the emotion.
Yeah.
You don't mean you've got to always act upon it. And I
Yeah.
think that's where we're very destructive when we're very impulsive. The moment we feel something, we feel that we have to act on it. You know, just
Yeah.
sometimes ride it out. Just wait to see if that feeling change, if another feeling could come, and most time it will.
Huh?
I feel like, sorry, just to say one last thing. I feel like feeling safe in a situation is something that varies. Like as you said earlier, love varies and all these kind of things. But for example, no relationship is perfect. You're gonna have arguments. You're gonna have times where you're like, oh, I hate him. Same thing where you said that, oh, parents might have that. But if the overall ambience is safety and all these kind of things, like variance is allowable. We're all humans at the end of the day.
I don't even. What did you?
What did she say, bro? What was that? Hold on. Let me just go back to that. What did she say?
But if the overall ambience is safety and all these kind of things, like variance is allowable. We're all humans at the end of the day.
I don't even. What did you? I don't even understand what you just said.
She just sent
my
a
gosh,
bunch of wasted years in school, man. That's what she said.
I was just touching on the fact that you
She's
said.
like, oh, I got caught. There we go. Yeah.
Oh,
Let's go. Let's go. You got caught and you're
I was
bullshit,
just talking
man.
about. I think you said women change how they feel all
Right.
the time, and I said that something like stability and safety is a relationship is going to have variance, but stability and safety is not something that unless you have like a really abusive person or something like that, that is
You
a
can't make
basis of the
this shit up,
relationship,
man.
and
It's
the ups and
crazy.
downs is just what happens in that safe space.
Yeah, but I think women don't even want stability. And when it comes to safety, if he's not abusing you, you're safe just because you feel like.
Safety is not just that. Safety is emotional safety, being
Oh
knowing
my
that you
God,
can
they're
go
moving the
and
goalposts
have a
so much.
conversation with your man.
So
and
safety
he's
is not you feeling safe anymore. Safety is make sure that she's safe emotionally. She's safe for I guess hundreds of things now. They're just trying to stretch that definition so far. It's gonna be unrecognizable.
going to listen to what you're saying and all these kind of things. Safety comes in many different forms, and the women
I
who
just feel
don't
like go
want
to your
stability.
girlfriend. Like, men aren't
Unrecognizable,
here
yeah.
to listen to our problems.
But you're building a future with that man.
Okay.
Why are you always going to your goals?
So say if there's two men that have a problem with each other, right? What would they do? Two grown men have a problem with each other about something.
Confronted.
What would they do?
I mean, it depends. They might fight.
What do you think? Oh, so you think they're just gonna punch each other in the face
Yeah,
straight away?
it's get to a point when it's a real problem. Yeah, the last solution. I'm not saying it's okay, but the last solution to the problem might be, let's just let's throw some punches.
They would have a conversation.
It's not okay,
It's
but-
not just females, it's just grown adults. Generally, if you're going to be grown, I know I want stability so bad. I do. Because I literally see that as happiness.
Yeah, and I think like women say that, but then a lot of times when we talk about our exes, like we're with the ones that are the most unstable for the longest. So it's like, do I watch
Yeah,
what we say?
but that's why
and
they're
do I
an
watch,
ex.
Do I watch what we say as women, or do I watch what we do?
No, because I know I definitely
point.
do want stability. And my ex isn't, and I was very young as well. But that's all.
Well, I don't know. I'm not talking about you personally. I'm talking about women in general.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
problem, that they put it to themselves and they start thinking about themselves. That's why you cannot move beyond this conversation, because you start talking about these problems and they put the woman hand, they start talking about their life, their feeling. They're trying to get all the attention to them.
We don't pick stability.
But we don't know every single woman.
Most
Ugh.
people want financial stability is the main
Yeah.
stability that they really would go for. But in regards to a guy that's kind of, I think no one wants a walkover. That's the thing. You don't want a guy that you can control.
Yeah, I don't think that's not. I don't think that isn't stable. Like I would say, my gentleman friend that's in the cart currently, he's very stable, and I would only know that I am. I learned I learned a lot from my previous relationship, and I spent a lot of time on my own. So from that, I know I don't want anymore. And this guy is super stable, and somebody might call it boring, but I like it.
Yeah, but I think that's like men kind of see that as a problem because
Yep.
like in our youth, when we have the most of what men value, we pick the bad boys.
Yeah, and that's a problem, because that means you're literally making bad choices, and the other guys that are coming after that, when they hit their 30s, they're paying for all your bad habits, and they think that they can control those habits, but they can't.
And
Yeah.
you know, when we're older and we have kids, then we say, oh, now I want a stable guy.
Yeah, I think that's really tricky.
Yep.
And for me, I mean, you know, I'm 35. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a spring chicken, perhaps, but I'm definitely in my prime. Maybe not like from a biological standpoint in my prime, because you know I got maybe like a year left before whatever. But
Right,
no,
but
I feel great. I feel my most sexy. I feel my most confident. I feel
You're not, lady. I'm sorry, lady, but you look okay, but nah.
feel like I've really honed in on that.
And I mean, you look great, but it's still not. But it's still not what men
But
value,
I
because
can
men value
appreciate that.
youth and they value purity.
Yeah, for sure. I
And
can
it's
appreciate
just
that.
when you're older, you can't offer that anymore. So
Yep.
it's like when we have the most to offer, we pick the most unstable guys.
Yeah. Or we're already sucked into that with the most unstable guys.
And it's not just this panel. Like I do street interviews all the time, and that's always what people say. Around 30, that's when they switch from the bad boys to the stable guys.
Do you think that women feel like they can save men? Like they feel like they can fix him or
I think
something?
women. Okay, why do we watch the Kardashians and not the NBA?
I mean, I don't
Women
know.
like